welcome to the ROK-US Alliance Peace Conference conducted by the Korea Defense Veterans Association and the Korea-US Alliance Foundation. KDVA and KUSEF are thankful for the conference's sponsor, the Korean Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs. MPVA is represented today by their Director General, Kim Ju-young. Sir, thank you for being here with us today. I am Colonel Retired Steve Lee, the Senior Vice President of KDVA, and I am your MC for today's conference. Before I introduce our opening speakers, I would like to provide some administrative information. This conference is being recorded. Hi, Buster, our dog at home. And the video will be available next week on the KDVA Digital Library and KDVA YouTube channel. Actually, you're supposed to laugh at that. It's okay, folks. It's okay to laugh. Our speakers will talk in English, but during the question and answer session, if our audience members need to speak in Korean, an interpreter will be available. Okay? For the online video recording, we will have the Korean dubbed into the video. We are observing Washington, D.C.'s COVID health guidelines, so if you have been fully vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask. As this is one of the first on-site conferences since the start of the global pandemic, if you feel more comfortable wearing a mask regardless of your vaccine status, we encourage you to do so. And we have KN94 masks that were donated by our partners in Korea, the Korea Veterans Association. They aren't as custom fitting as this, but I think they are very good. KDVA sent thousands of these high quality masks to KDVA from Korea during the start of the pandemic, and we gave them to our various veterans in the locations around the DC area. So thank you, KVA. So now we show our agenda. We will start with opening remarks. Then we will have lunch served in this room. After lunch, we will conduct panel 1 called Defense and Diplomacy Dialogue, or 3D. Then after a break, we will have panel 2 for the Defense Industry Dialogue. We will close with remarks by Mr. Min Hong-chul, the Korean National Assembly's chairman of the Defense Committee. We're very honored that you'll be able to join us at the end of the day. Then we invite everyone to the hotel's mezzanine. I like saying that word, mezzanine. It's a fun word. For beer and wine social hours so that we can connect and deepen relationships. Again, plenty of time to do that during this conference. During our breaks, you are welcome to spread out into the balcony up in the upper levels of this grand ballroom to have private conversations or take a view from the top. It's actually pretty unique. When we resume the conference, please come down and join us safely. And the stairways are mainly there and there. We have refreshments throughout the afternoon, so please help yourself to your right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the chairman and president of the Korea Defense Veterans Association, General Retired Vincent Brooks, who is a former commander of the United Nations Combined Forces Command, U.S. Forces Korea. General Brooks, sir, your opening remarks at this podium. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good day to all of you, and I'll say as good day because it could be a different time as those who will be viewing this video at a later point in time. It might be any time of the day, and certainly for our alliance, it's always at least 2 times of a given day. And for me being in Texas, it's yet another time of day. So good day to all of you, and thanks so much for being here. I want to thank Colonel Steve Lee for the opening remarks, and especially for the hard work that he and the team have put together to put this Alliance Peace Conference together. This is Alliance Peace Conference number 1 of the year 2021, and it is the first of 3 that will occur this year, the next 2 being in the Republic of Korea in Seoul, and then in Hawaii a bit later in the year. And so we have that ahead of us, and this is the start of a good series. I, of course, want to start by saying thank you to those who make our work on a given day at Korea Defense Veterans Association possible. First, the Korea-U.S. Alliance Foundation, And I'm delighted that we have good representation from the Korea-U.S. Alliance Foundation Board of Directors who are here with us today. I'll start with Chairman Yoon Myung-hwan, who's here. He's the chairman of the foundation and does tremendous work in providing us the support that we need to do the things we need to do. And General Jung Seung, my good friend and my older brother, who is the president of the foundation. We very much appreciate your support and the support of the board as well. This conference also is occurring because of the tremendous support that comes from the Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs from the Republic of Korea. And as you will hear from him in just a moment, let me say thanks up front to the Director General who is representing the minister today, and that is Director General Kim Joo-young. So thanks very much once again for being here. There are many different organizations in the room with whom we partner, and I want to thank you for the relationship that we've developed between your organization and the Korea Defense Veterans Association over the last couple of years. There's more ahead. We can do a lot of work together to try to strengthen and highlight the Korea-U.S. Alliance, and also, in our case, to honor the veterans who have defended it for so many decades from the United States and the Republic of Korea especially. So to you partners in the room, thank you so much. And from the broader community of people who are interested, Korea watchers, thanks for your continued interest and for your support as well. We've got a great program lined up today. We'll have the always excellent remarks of Dr. John Hamre to share with us his excellent insights, always brilliant and insightful. And John, thank you so much for coming to be with us today. We have some excellent panelists that are lined up, and I want to thank the panelists in advance for your participation and for your insights as well. It'll be a good discussion, a good event. There'll be good food and good fellowship, and we'll have a good time. Let me just make a last comment about it's always an important time for the Korea-U.S. Alliance. There has never been an event in my experience where that is not appropriate and true. There's always something going on with the U.S. and Korea alliance. We're coming off of a very strong summit between President Moon and President Biden, a strong and very comprehensive statement that came from that. And even in the last few days, as we remember the armistice anniversary, 68 years just yesterday, or see communications being even partially opened between North Korea and South Korea, something is always going on in this alliance. And so we have much to talk about today as we pursue peace. And at this point, I'd like to give General Jung Seung a chance to come forward and share some of his opening comments and words of welcome. So thank you very much once again for being here, and let's enjoy the conference. General Jung Seung.
Thank you. When I was a young kid, the younger brother is always shorter than me, but now I have a much taller younger brother. Thank you, Vince. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and thank you very much for the interest to the Alliance and attending this Alliance Peace Conference 21-1 while we don't escape completely from COVID-19 pandemic. I'm so glad that we can have this wonderful event offline. My highest thank goes to the keynote speaker and moderators, panelists of each session who prepared their presentations in spite of their busy schedule. I'd like to express my appreciation to General Brooks, the President and Chairman of KDVA, and his staffs who have worked very hard to make this conference happen. I also remember the active support from the directors and the members of KDVA. The support from MPVA made this conference happen. Thank you, Director Kim. I also thank the donors, advisors, and BOD members of Korea-U.S. Alliance Foundation who are always showing their patriotism by real action. Ladies and gentlemen, both Korea-U.S. Alliance Foundation and Korea Defense Veterans Association are very young organizations founded in the spring of 2017. However, I am confident that we are running on the right track to strengthen the alliance. Both organizations are growing as the representative civilian symbols of ROK and US alliance. We have spoken very loudly the value and importance of the alliance to the government, military, think tanks, and the people of both countries. Ladies and gentlemen, President Moon and President Biden had very meaningful summit talk in May and announced a valuable joint statement. This statement should not become a mere declaration. It must be developed further as the government policies of both countries, which will be executed as the real action. The governments of both countries have many issues to cooperate to solve. The number one issue, I think, is the North Korean nuclear issue. I don't know what the alliance achieved for the recent several months while North Korea is believed to continuously develop their nuclear capability. We must push North Korea hard to denuclearize. This pronunciation is almost difficult as denuclearization itself. In the same time, the alliance should increase the measures to deter North Korea not to use their nuclear weapon. In the military perspective, the alliance needs to put more focus on deterrence. I hope the Republic of Korea join the Quad Plus more actively. China's exclusive hegemony in Indo-Pacific Ocean is not acceptable to ROK. Free and open Indo-Pacific will give a lot of benefits to ROK considering trade dependency of Korea. Wartime Afghan transition. We must respect the principle of condition-based decision. The most important factor here is the rational evaluation of conditions. Evaluation of IOC, FOC, or FMC of the new CFC is not the sufficient conditions. I recommend both governments to organize joint non-government external evaluation team for the objective and transparent evaluation. The alliance needs to conduct the combined exercises and training to the normal level as in the past. It is important to deter North Korea by maintaining the readiness of the alliance. ROK government should provide the good enough training sites so that USFK troops can train in Korea, including live fire exercises. I know that MINDEF Seung is working very hard to solve this issue. However, it cannot be solved by MINDEF's efforts alone. It can be solved by the trans-government efforts including defense, finance, and local government, as well as the support from National Assembly. Now, it's time to increase defense industry cooperation between the ROK and US. I strongly believe this cooperation will not only strengthen the defense capability of both countries, but also consolidate the alliance. So today's conference, especially session 2, is very meaningful in this respect. The cooperation other than military area is also important. The COVID-19 vaccine cooperation will be a good example. Some Korean bio companies are believed to have the capabilities to produce vaccine if the intelligence property issues are solved. There are a lot more areas where both countries can find out the win-win solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for your participation at the conference and the support for the alliance. Thank you. Together for the alliance.